Okay, guys, here we go. We're going to take a look at where we're going to have to use our calculator for solving some of these additional trig equations. Now, if I say to you, solve for x, this trig equation, okay, then you say, well, I need my calculator. Well, first off, you're right, okay? And second off, you should know that there is a solution to the sine of x equaling 2/5. So here's the sine of x just graphed, and here's the value of 2/5. Okay, so I know it's going to strike here, A, and here again, wherever that might be. But wherever that might be should be easily explained going back and looking at my unit circle. Here's my unit circle. Here's the value of 2/5 for the sine of x. And if that value is striking here at whatever angle this is, A or alpha we call it, then the other angle over here is the reference in the second quadrant, okay, which is A short of pi, okay? So, so what I do is I say, given this value is where it strikes, the other value is going to be at pi minus A, pi minus A. And of course, we can illustrate that quite easily on the calculator. Now, which means, again, we have to go to our calculator. So the issue that we're contending with is if we ask our calculator to go inverse sine of 2/5, which we will, and that being x, it will only report to us one answer because basically, again, owing to the graph of the inverse sine, y equals the inverse sine of x, as we see here, with a value of 2/5, we're only going to pick up one answer. So let's go and show you on your calculator how we go and pick that up. So I'm going to clear, I'm going to go to mode, I'm going to make sure that my mode is set to radian, which it is, okay. You come down here, you can toggle that radian or degree, but we're going to radian, okay. So we're going to click that on OK. And then come back, and then here's our inverse trig functions are in green here. So we're going to go inverse sine of, what is it, 2/5? Yeah, okay, 0.4. And that's going to give us but one answer, that being 0.41. Okay, so so the solutions to this equation, okay, the solutions to this equation aren't but one, okay, they're infinitely many because this was a straight up sine, not in, we used inverse sine to answer it, but inverse sine only gives us one answer, and we need infinitely many more. So we get x is equal to whatever that was, 0.41, and then the subsequent, and of course that's going to be with all subsequent 2 pi uh, hits down the line. And then, of course, we get the other strikes at this value of x, I'm sorry, pi minus 0.41. And again, all subsequent hits down the line, okay? So, and then again, let's see that uh, on the calculator to kind of illustrate that. And I'll set that up and come right back. Okay, so I'm back, and we're going to be looking at. I have graphed here, as I'll share with you, the graph of the sine of x and the graph of 2/5, and of course you can see as we would well expect that they have infinitely many solutions. So so we're going to go and we're going to find this second solution. We already confirmed that this is that 0.41. So this should be the pi minus 0.41. So we're going to go to F5 to our intersection menu item. We're going to scroll in close proximity to that. Okay, first curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Then of course we want to be a little bit to the left of that intercept point. Okay, enter that. And then scroll over a little bit to the right of that intersect point and enter that. and that reports to be 2.73, which I can almost guarantee you, okay, is, okay, the pi value, the pi value, um, let's put that in, the pi value less, okay, minus this value that we found up here previously, right? Okay, so here it is. And there it is, 2.73. Again, confirming that that is the same thing that we got over there. Now, okay, if you are doing the cosine, for instance, okay, if you're going to do cosine, say we said, okay, where is the cosine of x equaling 3/4? Okay, well then again, we'd have to go from our cosine graph. We know certainly that can happen. Okay, so certainly that can happen. And if that's our cosine graph, here's our value of 3/4. And certainly we get one strike here and then another strike here. And then again, we can go back to a unit circle, and cosine being the x value. If the x value is, in this case, 3/4, then we know this is the one angle, and the other angle is going to be down here, okay, which is going to be uh, alpha or beta or whatever you want to call it, short of 2 pi. So if this is where that value hits A, then the next time it hits is going to be 2 pi minus A. And so again, if we want that actual decimal value, we would have to go and do the cosine inverse of 3/4 and let that equal x. And so we can go and pull up our calculator here on doing that. And this time around, we'll just modify this. This will be the cosine of x. Okay. And we'll figure out where that point of intersection is. Okay. Cosine x. And then this time around, we're going to 3/4, which of course would be 0.75. All right. And get that at 0.75. And so we're going to look to see where they intersect. All right. And of course, we're going to suspect it's going to be twice per cycle. Here's the second hit per cycle. Let's just go F5 and find out where that's happening. Okay. And I can assure you that it will be at the first curve, second curve, left bound, okay, and right bound, upper bound, okay. Reports that is 5.56, 5.56. So this is this value is 5.56. Okay. Now I guarantee you that when I go to my calculator and um, ask for the inverse cosine, so go to the home and we go to the inverse cosine. Uh, let's pick that off. Diamond inverse cosine of 0.75, and we use that. That's 0.72. Now again, I will guarantee you that that 5.56, so that's 0.72 is this guy right here. And so I will guarantee you that 2 pi minus that previous value will give you that 5.56. So there you have it. Now, of course, what we're going to find is that we're going to find ourselves with some more sophisticated problems. Okay, so take a look here at some of these more sophisticated problems that you're going to have on the forthcoming worksheets. okay, like this guy right here, okay, which are probably not going to, I mean, they're a factor, so let's just see. 4 sine squared of x minus 5 sine of x minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to see if in fact that factors, okay, and it probably does. I hope it does. They're kind of designed to factor. I suspect we're going to go with 2. We can do let u equal the sign for the time being. So 2u, and I guess we're going to try 2u just to see if this is going to factor out rightly. I guess we'll go with 3 and 2. Um, maybe that's not the combination we're going to have. Okay, we're going to have to play around with this, come up with uh, 4 and 1, and 3 and 2. Here it is. Yes, you have to play with it. Just it's all factoring. Okay, so this is 3. So uh, that's 8u. That's going to be minus. This is going to be plus. Okay, so so this is telling us that just double check. This is 3u minus 8u, which is the negative 5u. So we get then u equaling negative 3/4, which means sine of x equals negative 3/4, which now again we're going to have to call on our calculator to find that. The other contributor is the sine of x equaling 2, which can't happen, so we don't have to worry about that. So the sine of x equaling negative 3/4 then is going to have to call on us to go like we did before, okay? The inverse sine via our calculator, so sine inverse of negative 3/4, okay? And then look at how that, look at the sine graph and where the negative 3/4 value is, okay? We'll get that value from our calculator. Here comes our sine graph. Here comes the 3/4 negative. It's going to give me this value, okay? And giving me, where did I get to? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here we go, come back, okay? It's going to give me the 1 value, and okay, and then I should be able to reason out what that other one is relative to the quadrant. So the 3/4 is going to be in the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant where the sign is going to be negative, right? Okay, so be able to report that value. Let's just see what that gives us. Okay, so the sine inverse, okay, of negative 3/4, okay, sine inverse of negative 3/4, okay, is okay negative 0.84, okay, negative 0.84. All right, and then so that will give us the 1 value, and we can use that to find the other value. Okay, again, we have to kind of work on the graph. Okay, I'm just getting a little lengthy. I'm going to cut it short right here. You'll see these in worksheets coming up tomorrow. Thanks.